Hey, I'm Geeky Pastimes, and in this video I'm going to explain how the code works for the Season 5 Stadium Easter egg in Call of Duty Warzone. I've had loads of people asking me to sort of clarify a little bit how you work out what the code that you need to put into the keypad is, so that's all this video is going to do. If you want to check out other things about how to get into it, like how to find the access cards, how to get the codes in the first place, if you check out my other video where I've done a guide on all of that, that should make all of that clear. If you like the video, find it helpful, please like, subscribe, share it with people. That'd be really, really helpful. So enjoy the video. So I'm going to show you how this works through the power of this spreadsheet. So first of all, we'll watch a video of what it looks like in game when you're getting the codes. 6, 4, nose, nose, house, 1, nose, house. Okay.
A lot of nose and house, that's really good.
Yeah, 6, 4, nose, nose, house, 1, nose, house. Right, go with the second one whenever you're ready.
Yeah, here we go. 6, China, 2, nose, house, 1, nose, house. Restart.
Cool. Now, once you've got 2 of the codes, you don't need 3 at all. You need to write them down somehow. Now, I don't normally do it in this kind of detail. I actually get chat to do it a lot, but I'm going to show you kind of step by step so you can really get a sense of how it all works. Now, just to make it clear, the sort of notation we're using when we say things like house, nose, and China is just a simple way of identifying these 3 symbols. Because we thought that one looked a bit like house, that one looked a bit like a nose, and that one looked a little bit like a Chinese symbol. It also means they've each got a different letter at the front, which makes it much easier and much quicker to write it down. So if I just play the audio from the first one, you can see that I've written that down along this row. There's always 8 digits, so you can line them up against each other, and this makes it much easier later. So this is the audio from the first code. 6, 4, nose, nose, house, 1, nose, house. So that's the first code. I've written it down there, so you can see it says 6, 4, nose, nose, house, 1, nose, house. Then this is the audio from the second code where I could write it down where one of my other squad mates had done it.
6, China, 2, nose, house, 1, nose, house. Restart.
Cool. So you can see there, that one is 6, China, 2, nose, house, 1, nose, house. Okay, now you could use any words for all of those different things. I find if you're playing with randoms, it's probably better to stick to ones that lots of people know. And since my streams and my guides have been out there a little bit now, it seems like people are starting to use these as kind of the default for what each of these symbols should be called. So once you've got 2 codes, what you can do is compare them to each other. Now, even if you just write them down with pen and pencil, I strongly suggest you write them down one above the other, because this makes this so much easier. So when you're trying to work out the final code, what you need to do is just identify any of the ones where there's a number, so you know what the number is, and these will always be the same in the same position. So the first one we definitely know is 6, and we also know the 6th one is definitely going to be 1. Those we already know. Now, the 4th one says 4 on computer 1, so that means we definitely know that's going to be a 4, but we also know, because on computer 2 it was the China symbol, we now know that the China symbol means 4. Now these codes and what the symbols mean change in every single game, so you can't just use this and then go into your own game and think, oh, the China symbol is always going to mean 4. It's always going to change. But when you lay them out like this, it's really easy to spot it. So if you're keeping note of it, you can just write, okay, that's going to be 4, C's always going to be 4, and you could look in the code, see if you've got any other C's, and then you can work out what it's going to be. In this one, there weren't any, so that's easy. Now the next number is a 2, so we know that one's 2, but it's also a nose in the first computer's code. Now that tells us quite a lot, because there's loads of N's in this, there's loads of noses in these codes. So now we know that nose equals 2, we can look at all of the other ones in the code and be like, okay, that one's going to be a 2 as well, and that one's going to be a 2. Now that leaves us with H as the one that we don't know. H, the house, that's the one, using these 2 codes we don't know. And there's 2 ways of working out what it's going to be. One way is to get the third access card. If you got the third access card, one of these H's would actually be a number, and then you can use that to work out what the other one's going to be. Okay? If you don't want to find deferred access card, because it's really hard to find free access cards, we've managed to do it 4 times now in God knows how many hours of trying, you can actually just brute force this because there's only so many numbers it can be. You know that it's not going to be a 2 or a 4. And because it appears in both of them, it's not going to be one of these other numbers that appears either, most likely. I don't think I've ever seen it being one of the other ones. So that means you can eliminate all of those and you can work out it could be 0 because we haven't seen one of them. It could be 3. It could be 5 because that hasn't appeared. It could be 7 or it could be 8 or 9. And you always seem to get left with 6 numbers that it could be. Okay, so you've got 6 numbers left over that it could be. And essentially you need to brute force the keypad and try those 6 numbers in the right place for all of these. Now when you do that, and I'll show you the video in a second of how I did it, all you need to do, type in the rest of these numbers and then substitute the gaps with one of these numbers. So the first time I try 64220 then if that one doesn't work, you go and say 64223 and so on. Because there's 2 keypads, there's one on either side of the room, you can have one person take the first 3 numbers, one person take the second set of 3 numbers. So one person tries 0, then 3, then 5, one person tries 7, then 8, then 9, just to speed things up, especially if you're going into overtime or something like that. Also a note, something I only just learnt, if you get into the boardroom and you get your Enigma blueprint, you can actually go around and use the other access panel and the fireworks will get set off again. So if you didn't see the fireworks because you're all inside, one person can stay inside and put it in again, and then when they put it in, everyone else who's outside can then see the fireworks again, which is awesome. So in the video, I'll just show you, this is how I entered them and this is how I worked out which one was the final answer.
So 642.
Yep.
2H 12H 6422H 12H
6422
H 12H.
Okay. If everyone could not chat for a bit, I'd appreciate it. Done it. Simple.
No way.
What?
Fireworks have went
No
off.
way.
We're in it. So, as you can see from the video, the one that ended up working was 3, which meant that H was 3. You don't really need to write this down, but H ended up being 3. And the final code was 64223123. Now, like I said, finding 2 computers makes this so much easier. Like, if you try to find all 3 cards, it's going to require a huge amount of luck, so personally I wouldn't bother. We've done this lots of times today, mostly just finding 2, and it's been absolutely fine. Because there's only 6 possibilities, and it's really easy to enter codes on the keypads, it shouldn't take you too long. So hopefully this helps, hopefully this cleared up how we solve these codes. If you've got any more questions, please leave them in the comments below. Like and subscribe. If you want to see me doing more of this kind of stuff, or you want help doing this, come check me out on Twitch. I'm Geeky Pastimes over there, and I'm fairly regularly now helping viewers get through this. Thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.